Good afternoon. My name is Courtney Kendall from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, and I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, Do-It-Yourself Solar Market Analysis, Top Solar Tools. We're excited to have you with us today. We'll give folks a few more minutes to call in and log on, so while we wait, I'll go over some logistics, and then we'll go ahead and get started with today's webinar. I want to mention that this webinar will be recorded, and everyone today is on listen-only mode. You have two options for how you can hear today's webinar. In the upper right corner of your screen, there's a box that says audio mode. This will allow you to choose whether or not you want to listen to the webinar through your computer speakers or a telephone. Select either use telephone or use mic and speakers, and if you select use telephone, the box will display the telephone number and specific audio pin you should use to dial in. We will have a questions and answer session at the end of the presentation. You can participate by submitting your questions electronically during the webinar. Please do this by going to the questions pane in the box showing on your screen. There you can type in any question that you have during the course of the webinar. Our speakers will address as many questions as time allows after the presentation. So today our speaker is Erin Nobler. Erin is a project leader in the Integrated Application Center here at NREL. She focuses primarily on solar policy work and is the task lead of the Quick Response Technical Assistance Program. Now I would like to go ahead and introduce Erin. Erin?
Hi everybody. Thank you, Courtney, for the introduction. Again, my name is Erin Nobler, and I am an NREL project leader working on solar technical assistance here at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. So during the presentation today, I would like to briefly talk to you about the Solar Technical Assistance Team, or STAT as we call it, and the type of assistance we're able to provide. I'd also like to tell you about the rest of the Do-It-Yourself Solar Market Analysis series and the upcoming webinars this summer, all of which will be on tools and resources available here at NREL. And then the largest chunk of the presentation today will be going through the various solar tools we have here at NREL, where you can find them, how they work, and how you can use them to make decisions. Those tools are Map Search, Renewable Energy Atlas, PVWatts, System Advisor Model, or SAM, Scenario JEDI, and the newest, our Community Solar Scenario Tool, or CSST. So what is STAT? STAT stands for Solar Technical Assistance Team. This project is funded by the Department of Energy Solar Program in coordination with NREL and Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, which also provides assistance. The purpose of STAT is to offer current, credible information to state and local government decision makers on policies, regulations, financing, and other issues that states and localities are currently facing. So as we like to say, STAT offers three different flavors of technical assistance. Education, which includes webinars, podcasts, and fact sheets on various topics. Quick Response, which is one-on-one technical assistance that requires fast turnaround. And in-depth one-on-one technical assistance for longer-term requests. To learn more about the broader effort of the STAT, please visit the website on the page where you can find a webinar with more detailed information on the solar technical assistance offerings here at NREL. So more on this year's series. You're currently listening to the first of 4 webinars in our summer series for Do-It-Yourself Solar Market Analysis. These webinars will be occurring throughout the summer, once per month on the second Wednesday from noon to 1 Mountain Standard Time. As you can see, today we're going through the top solar tools, and then the following 3 webinars will be deep dives into a few of those that we discussed today. Please join us for the remainder of the summer and learn about the various solar tools that NREL has to offer. So we're going to start at the basic, oh, pardon me, I'm on the wrong slide. So here you can see a glimpse of the tools we'll be discussing today and how they all kind of play together. They run the gamut from basic resources all the way up to complex analysis and policy application. So going through them, as you can see, starting in the lower left-hand corner, we have Map Search and RE Atlas, and they provide basic solar resource information by location. Map Search provides static maps that display resources, and RE Atlas also explores basic resource data, however, with the added bonus of having dynamic maps. So next, moving up, we have PVWatts and SAM, which fit into the analysis category. PVWatts estimates electricity production using a few very simple inputs, while the System Advisor Model, or SAM, shows performance and cost estimates for a project using more detailed inputs. These tools provide system performance and techno-economic analysis. As you can tell, these have a bit more detail and actually analyze some of the resources. And then finally, we have policy application tools like CSST and Scenario JEDI. Scenario JEDI looks at the economic impacts of a solar deployment scenario across market sectors. The Community Solar tool offers a first-cut analysis of the potential to implement a community solar program in a specific location. These tools are capable of evaluating implications of markets, financial instruments, and economic factors. These allow us to analyze energy scenarios and or the benefits and impacts of energy plans, programs, portfolios, and even policy options. So now that you can see the breadth of the tools we're discussing, let's take a deeper dive into each of these to understand them a bit more. So now actually here we are, starting at the basic resource analysis end of the spectrum with map search. This is a tool developed by the Geographic Information System team here at NREL. And the easiest way to access this feature is to go to maps.nrel.gov, and it's listed under the general heading. However, you can also see the direct link in this slide. There are currently, I think, 1,200 maps throughout map search, and these are static maps created for a specific location and technology, which are housed within a searchable database. The value of this tool is that you can easily find specific map types by filtering by technology, and that includes biomass, geothermal, hydrogen, and then, of course, wind and solar. You can also filter by country or continent, by U.S. state, and even by the year the map was created. So now we're going to take a look at the actual site so you can get a feel for what's possible. And as I go, there might be a slight delay, so I'll try my best to talk slowly while the visuals catch up. So if you hear me pause a few times, that's just to make sure that you can see the screen that I'm currently looking at. So I want to start by taking us to map search. So clicking on map search now, which is where you're at, you can see that it's a pretty simple interface. Since we're all PV people here, I want to start by pointing out that several solar map types exist, which you can see on the left-hand side. To capture all possible solar maps within your jurisdiction, start by filtering by location. There are several options, so I'll select one, and from there you can see more details about the data source, creation date, and so forth. I'll use my home state of Colorado as the example. So I'll filter by the state of Colorado, and you can immediately see all of the Colorado-specific maps available. Since we're talking about PV here, I will open the PV resource map, which displays the Colorado PV resource with county lines and latitude and longitude lines visible. So you can see that on your screen now. Okay, so now that you've seen the tool and how it works, let's talk about what these maps really do. So the solar resource map tells you how much sun is available in a particular location. This is important when designing a PV system because it enables you to begin the process of determining whether a PV system will perform the way you expect it to. You need to know if the sun will shine sufficiently to produce the amount of electricity you would expect for a project. What these resource maps can also demonstrate, however, is that there's more to the decision-making process than just solar resource. For example, by looking at this map on the screen of the solar resource in the US, Spain, and Germany, it becomes very clear that solar resource alone does not make a successful solar market. So you have to dig a bit deeper. So going off of that, it's important to remember that you have to look at additional reference data as well as the resource data. Another resource, the Renewable Energy Atlas, can help with that. The RE Atlas is an interactive spatial application which allows you to layer different maps on top of each other to provide you with information you need. These are very dynamic maps as opposed to map search, which only has static maps. Again, this resource can be accessed through maps.nrel.gov or the website on the screen. So let's go again and take a look. Okay, so it looks like it just loaded, so here we are. The default view is actually a few maps layered over each other, showing a range of renewable energy resources throughout the United States. We would recommend clicking on the Help tab here at the top of the page before getting started. It contains lots of useful information like how to find the Hidden Base Layers tab that allows you to choose map, satellite, or hybrid view. The RE Atlas leverages the use of dynamic maps and tools to allow the user to investigate data by renewable energy resource category. Most of you will start by selecting solar using the one-click filters on the left-hand side of the page. So this is just like map search. However, this tool allows you to dig a little deeper. You can see data details by right-clicking on your selection, even altering the look of the map to suit your preference. This tool is useful for determining, for example, what the solar resource looks like for all of the federal lands with state and county level details. Decision makers can use this to gauge more accurately where they would like to consider PV projects based on the resources available. So the RE Atlas online application also provides links to other sites, tools, and applications from NREL, the Department of Energy, and their partners to assist users in exploring other publicly available data and resources. RE Atlas lets you get information for your region on various renewable energy technologies. For more advanced analysis on a specific technology, there are additional tools off of the maps.nrel.gov page. Important to you, I think, is to take note of Solar Prospector, which allows you to do more detailed analysis specific to solar technologies. So diving in a little bit deeper here, we get to the analysis tools, including PVWatts. PVWatts is a tool that calculates the estimated electricity production of a PV system. To get started using this tool, you only have to input the address you're interested in and the size of the system. From there, you can get more specific by adding the array type, the tilt angle, and the azimuth angle. However, if you don't know this information, you can simply use the default data that's already in the tool for an estimate. So now let's exit and take a look at the tool. So here, to get started, you'll have to punch in an address to show how the tool works. I'll use a more famous location to make sure I don't offend any nice private citizens that we could be using. So here we are looking at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and when we enter, it tells us the recommended weather data for the area, which we will accept in the analysis. For simplicity, I'm going to keep all of the default data on the next page, including the system size of 4 kilowatts. So that's the default data that you can see here. Okay, so then we go to results. And using simulation over a period of 1 year, PVWatts estimates the annual and monthly electricity production of a PV system, as well as the cost and value of the electricity produced by the system. The cost of electricity estimates are based on whether the PV system is on residential or commercial property, its installation costs, and the retail cost of electricity. And again, much of this information is pulled based on the location you entered at the beginning. The tool will provide you with the next step of analysis in determining potential locations for PV systems or projects. Also, for policymakers out there who don't know, it's important to acknowledge that this tool is used extensively by solar installers to qualify for subsidies. For example, a utility may require a PVWatts analysis in order to qualify for their incentive. So you might find yourself using PVWatts, especially if you have a subsidy or incentive program. It's a very simple tool to use and can be understood by non-solar experts, so please don't be afraid to just go try it. We'll be doing a deeper dive webinar on PVWatts later in the summer series that I mentioned earlier, so please tune into that webinar to learn this tool in much more detail. Okay, so moving on to the next solar tool, let's talk about the System Advisor Model, or SAM. So SAM is a performance and financial model with the goal of helping people in the solar industry to make informed decisions. This is a free computer program that calculates a renewable energy system's hourly energy output over a single year and calculates the cost of energy for a renewable energy project over the life of the project. It has 12 performance models that run the gamut of solar electric technologies, including both PV and CSP. And its 8 financial models cover the range from anything from single owner systems to more complex multi-partner financial structures. So SAM also includes a simple fossil-fueled power plant model for you to use in studies comparing renewable technologies to fossil fuels. This tool, as I mentioned, is used primarily by people in the industry, including engineers, policy analysts, and developers. It's definitely more technical than PVWatts in terms of output, but it is still very user-friendly. So let's take a look at this tool, which you can find at sam.nrel.gov. Okay, so the first step in creating a SAM file is to give it a name. Then you can choose a technology and financing option for your project. SAM automatically populates the input fields with a set of default values for the type of project. You can modify the inputs to provide more information about your specific project, so you'll get the best results when you are further along in the process of developing or potentially developing a PV project. Once you are happy with the input values, you can run simulations and examine your results. A typical analysis involves running simulations, examining results, revising inputs, and then repeating that process maybe over and over again until you understand and have confidence that the outputs match the expected system. For example, you could use SAM to compare the savings of a residential rooftop solar water heater to those of a photovoltaic system. Or for a large utility scale project, you could compare the power purchase price that would be required to make a wind, PV, or concentrating solar power project profitable at any given location. So this tool helps you understand the differences in financing options, utility rates, incentives, cost of the equipment, and other factors when designing a project. SAM is available for free download, and to download the software, you must register for an account on the website. So a policymaker may not use SAM directly, but it is an important opportunity for you to better understand and become exposed to performance modeling, so to really be able to talk the talk, as we say. Because SAM is a more detailed tool, I only briefly went over it, as you can clearly tell, without getting into too many details. If this tool looks like it might be the one for you, we have plenty of additional learning resources to help you better understand how to use it. You can just head to the SAM website and then click on Learning, and you'll see a huge amount of additional webinars that will teach you everything and anything you want to know about this model. Okay, so next, the Jobs and Economic Development Impact Model, or JEDI. These are user-friendly models that estimate the economic impacts of constructing and operating power generation and biofuel plants at the local level. Based on project-specific or default inputs, JEDI estimates the number of jobs and economic impacts to a local area that could reasonably be supported by a power generation project. For example, JEDI estimates the number of in-state construction jobs for, let's say, a new wind farm. The intent of the Jobs and Economic Development Impact Model is to construct a reasonable profile of investments to demonstrate the employment and economic impacts that will likely result during the construction and operating periods. So while most of the JEDI models look at a single project, say a small commercial rooftop PV installation, for example, Scenario JEDI looks at a deployment scenario over time. So, for example, what is the impact of 10 megawatts of solar installed over a 5-year period that's split between utility, residential, and commercial installations? This type of analysis offered by Scenario JEDI is particularly interesting to state and local policymakers, as it offers information on how a deployment scenario may impact your community in terms of jobs and economic development. We are careful to say that the estimates derived from JEDI are not guaranteed. So, as you can see on the screen in front of you, this is the Scenario JEDI tool, and you can provide inputs based on a hypothetical or real solar scenario for your community, what your deployment goal is, and what the distribution of the goal is based on market sector. That is, how much of the goal is from residential installations, commercial installations, and utility scale installations. From this, you can see the results on the summary results page, which gives you estimate results for total cumulative jobs, earnings, and output for each sector. You can see from the results how this tool could assist governments and policymakers in planning and evaluation, and even community development. So, similar to SAM, we actually have an entire webinar, not a series, but a webinar dedicated to Scenario JEDI. And it's about how to navigate the tool effectively, how to interpret results, and understand its limitations. Should you want to learn more about this tool, please visit the NREL Stat webinar page and click on the Do-It-Yourself Solar Market Analysis link. Okay, so now we've reached the final tool we're going to discuss today, the Community Solar Scenario Tool. The Community Solar Scenario Tool, or CSST, is one of the newest solar modeling capabilities developed here at NREL. The STAT team started seeing, I think about a year or so ago, several requests for information about analyzing shared solar programs. So we built this tool for a specific request from Michigan, actually, and then modified it for a request from Columbia, Missouri, and then worked to make it a more general tool that could stand on its own. So that's what you see here today. This model allows smaller municipal utilities, electric cooperatives, and state and local advocates to see how various inputs, such as system size, location, project costs, how they will impact the economics of a project from both a potential customer's perspective as well as the sponsoring utility's perspective. And this tool really provides a first cut analysis, as we say, of different community or shared solar program options. So anyone looking for a more complex financial modeling option should probably turn to SAM. So you can access this tool on NREL's website from the Deployment tab in the top navigation. Then select Models and Tools on the left, and you can find it in the Renewable Energy Technologies section of the page. So now the model is in front of you. As you can see, it's also available as a downloadable Microsoft Excel file. So I'll just flip through the tabs quickly since using the tool is fairly straightforward. And if this is something you are interested in, please plan to attend our more in-depth webinar covering what you can learn from this tool, which will be held on Wednesday, August 13th. So again, I just want to emphasize that this tool is really meant for small municipal utilities who are doing a first pass analysis. With that in mind, because it is a new tool, we are currently open to suggestions for improvements. So if you do spend some time with the tool, please let us know your thoughts. We're always interested in hearing them. Okay, so before I wrap up completely, I'd like to make sure that you're aware of our technical assistance map that is available online, and you can see the website at the bottom of the screen. This map provides information on many of the assistance projects we have provided to states and localities in recent years. We like to think that this is a pretty great resource if you would like to see what types of assistance we provide, what the outcomes are, things of that nature. And this will give you clear examples of the types of questions we answer and the work that we're able to offer under our Solar Technical Assistance Program. So while I'm on the subject of STAT, I'd like to discuss how you can apply for assistance. So our quick response effort is provided on a rolling basis and can be applied to at any point during the year. And to apply, you need to fill out an easy one-page document that asks for basic contact information and a brief summary of what the request is and how it will help lower costs or move the market. And once completed, you can send this document to stat@nrel.gov, and we will get back to you as soon as possible to move forward. And this document, which you fill out, is available at the website listed. Okay, and then as for in-depth, which was the third flavor of TA I discussed at the very beginning, this application is going to be available on a biannual basis at the same website as the quick response application. So the in-depth assistance is complete for this fiscal year, but we will have another round ready to go in fall of 2014, so just this upcoming fall. So please consider coming back and applying for a larger effort at that point. And then further, if you would like to receive information about STAT, please sign up for our state and local listserv, and we'll make sure to notify you as soon as the application is available. And you'll also find out about our upcoming webinars. And keep in mind that while we offer more detailed webinars on many of the tools you heard about today, we also have folks here at NREL that can provide you with analysis using the tools mentioned. They can actually help you out with this. So if you would like to receive assistance using any of these tools, please don't hesitate to contact us. So with that, I want to thank you for your time during this presentation. I hope you found it useful and informative, and have a wonderful day.